Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. The purpose of this video is to help you apply what you've learned about subject pronouns in French and conjugating the verb être in the present tense. This is a super important topic. I always suggest that when you're learning another language that you really focus on knowing how to conjugate verbs. That's one of the things that will lead you down the path of fluency and help you to be able to just think on your feet in the language, as opposed to just having memorized phrases and repeating them in the right situations. This will really help you to think in the language if you know how to conjugate the verbs. So make that a priority always. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the practice, but before you do that, remember, study the topic in your textbook, watch the grammar tutorial video. You can also Google the verb être, and you'll find some great YouTube videos that show you how to conjugate the verb and give you some examples. Okay, so let's get to the next part here. Remember, this is what you must absolutely memorize. You have to memorize the subject pronouns. There's no way around it. So je means I, know that. Tu, know that that means you, that's the informal singular you. Il means he, elle means she, and so forth and so on. So memorize your subject pronouns. And let's go ahead and see if you learned how to conjugate the verb. So how would you say I am in French? Comment dit-on I am? Je suis, I am, je suis. You are, the informal, the singular. You are. How would you tell someone you are? Informally. You're on a first name basis with them. Tu es, tu es, tu es. You are. Tu es. Notice that the S is not pronounced, it's silent. So tu es, tu es. He is. Comment dit-on he is? Il est, il est. Now, this is something very important later on down the road. Sometimes when you want to say he is, if you're identifying someone, instead of saying il est, you'll say c'est. So I'm just planting the seed here. Be aware of this. C'est we use to identify people. If you want to describe them, for example, their characteristics, then you would use il est. If you want to identify them, you would use c'est. So if I wanted to say, for example, he is Robert, I would say c'est Robert, c'est Robert. More on that later. Okay. She is. She is. Comment dit-on she is? Elle est. Remember, elle est if you're going to describe her. If you're going to identify someone, then you would say c'est. For example, if I want to say it's Marie, I would say c'est Marie, c'est Marie. We are. Comment dit-on we are? Nous sommes, nous sommes, nous sommes. We are. Nous sommes. Nous sommes. Notice you're not pronouncing the end of it here. Nous sommes. You are formal. In other words, if you're on a last name basis with someone, or if you're talking to more than one person, whether it's a formal or informal situation, it doesn't matter. The way that you say it is vous êtes, vous êtes, vous êtes. You are. There's liaison here. So vous, normally you don't pronounce the S, but with the vowel following, vous êtes, vous êtes, vous êtes. You are. And finally, they are. A masculine or all males. If you're referring to a group of all males or a mixed group of males and females. Ils sont. Ils sont. If you're describing them, ils sont. If you're identifying who those people are, then you would say ce sont. Ce sont. Again, more on that later in a following video. They are, if you're referring only to a group of females, elles sont, elles sont. Or if you're identifying, then you would say ce sont, ce sont. Okay, well that's it for this video. Remember, it's super important that you memorize the verb êtres, the conjugation of the verb êtres in the present tense. You'll need it always, 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 so be sure that you spend the time memorizing. If you didn't get these all right, then just go back to the beginning of the practice part and keep going through it until you get them all right. That's it for this video. Au revoir.